I'm Howie Spira. You remember me as Dave Winfield's publicist and the guy who got the owner of the New York Yankees, George Steinbrenner, throwing out a baseball. That was the past. Now, hard-hitting, factual, not worried about feelings and lawsuits. Baseball, football, basketball, golf, off-the-field issues, hockey, no hockey. Anything that's relevant, you're going to hear it right here. First, honest, and to the point. And now, we're ready. Let's start the Howie Spira Show. Roll it. Everything with me has always been numbers and money. That's all. Figures go through in my head like a lunatic. When I was a little boy in first grade and went to school a few blocks from Yankee Stadium, I was the milk and pretzel monitor. Pretzels then, those long pretzel rods, and a little container of milk were 4 cents. I guess extortion starts at a very young age. I was already charging the kids a nickel and keeping the penny. Now that sounds funny, but it's an interesting trait because that's how my mind works. Always make money. That's all I ever thought about. And maybe as the years went by, it was because of the emotional and verbal abuse my father gave me that I didn't feel worthy. I needed self-worth, and I figured money relates into power and clothes and women. That's how my mind worked. When I was, 7, 8 years old, I had a little cash register bank. And everybody would always give me a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter. You pull the lever, and it adds up. And I was so happy if I got like $1 or $2. Well, my uncle came to visit, and he gave me a $10 bill. He said, I want change. I folded neatly the $10 bill up. I put it in the back slot of the cash register, said, sorry, store's closed, turn off the light. I went to sleep, kept the $10. That was just me. That's just the way I did things in my life. That's why it's very hard for me to trust anyone, because nobody lies better than I did. Nobody needed money. I could see through situations. That's why I like the truth. Whatever it is, I deal with it. Just be honest. Now, talking about honest, let's talk about this amazing weekend in football, starting on Thursday night with college football. Number 2, Oregon, close to a 25-point favorite against nothing Arizona. Lost. This was a team I really thought was going to win the national championship. They lost. If that wasn't enough, and if you followed me on Twitter on Saturday, I picked every upset for you. Number 3, Alabama lost. Number 4, Oklahoma lost. Number 6, Texas A&M lost. I mean, it was the most amazing. 4 of the top 6 teams lost for the second time in the 78 and a half years of rankings. I mean, think about that. Ole Miss and Mississippi State went from 11 and 12 respectively. They're tied. With 1,320 votes, they're tied for 3. Auburn jumped all the way up to number 2. Florida State. Why? As I said exactly on my Twitter, they would win by 40 points. Well, my math isn't that good, but 43-3, there's your 40 points. If you followed me over this weekend, not only did you go to the bank this morning, you're still there because it's hard to lift that much money. All I can tell you is Notre Dame beat Stanford in a late field goal. Great game. They went from 9-6. This Saturday coming, number 2 Auburn plays number 3 Mississippi State. 2 and 3. Somehow, the SEC, they keep putting it in there. It's amazing. If all that wasn't enough on Saturday, there's nothing in life to me like a football Sunday. I'm Jewish. So it's the equivalent of your Christmas, your Easter, your New Year's Eve. I don't have a social life because none of you contacted me to go out on a date. No beautiful Spanish girl who was 25 years old with tattoos and high heels. But come 1 o'clock on a football Sunday, to me, the world stops. I don't want to hear there's a wedding, there's a funeral, there's a bar mitzvah, there's a street fair. I don't care. 1 o'clock Sunday, the NFL That's all. I live for that. I don't gamble anymore. I haven't gambled for almost 2 decades, so now I can actually enjoy it. Back to college football. Late Saturday night, well into Sunday morning, the Utah Utes upset number 8th ranked UCLA 30-28. UCLA actually had 2 short field goals to win it. Missed both times. So, to me, again, numbers. It's all numbers. I don't know why I like Notre Dame. Maybe it's because every regular season game is on television. They have their own on NBC, all the home games, ABC, all the road games. Maybe I enjoy watching it. But I like when people move up in the rankings. I just figure it out in my head. And for numbers 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8 to lose on the same Saturday, first, that's never been done before. And Florida State, remember, in the previous 2 weeks, the number 1 ranked team, almost looked like the games were fixed, like against Clemson. It would be almost impossible on 4th and an inch to snap the ball 25 yards over the guy's head. I mean, they don't even do that in cartoons. It was so amazing. And when the first thing, while I'm watching the NFL yesterday, I pull up the rankings to look at college football when they come out. And I was really surprised that Notre Dame only went from 9, 8, 7, 6. They're 6th. But Mississippi State and Ole Miss, for the first time ever, they're tied for 3rd. I mean, to those schools, that's like hitting a lottery because the exposure they're going to get, off the charts. I mean, who's the luckiest guy in the world at this moment, this weekend? Might be Archie Manning. Eli Manning won the game for the Giants with a great touchdown pass to Odell Beckham, but we'll get to that in the next segment. Peyton Manning threw his 500th career touchdown pass. Look at where Ole Miss is, where they went to school. I mean, Archie Manning must be living. Not only does he have 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and he was a great quarterback in the NFL, but everything is falling right for this guy. If anybody should get picks, if they don't listen to me, they should certainly get them from Archie Manning. College football has a different type of feel. It's excitement, it's energy, it's youth. I mean, Ole Miss broke down the goalpost. 30 guys carried it down the road. They then, with a saw, carefully chopped it up in 30 pieces. Some of it sell it on eBay. Some of them just keep it in their room. But I mean, who does that? I mean, it's just, who would even think to do that? To me, I would think you get arrested, that the campus police and the sheriff, the one with the big hat's, going to come and arrest you for stealing the goalpost. I mean, there's such an excitement in college football. Last season when Auburn ran the kickback against Alabama, I hate Alabama, 109.5 yards. The guy's toe was almost on the back of the end zone, and he ran the whole field in one of the most amazing plays in history. I mean, when you watch it and they put it to music, you almost want to cry, as when you watch the kids who don't eat and the dogs who get abused. I mean, it's just like a hallmark moment. And it's just exciting to watch. It's nice. It's not like the NFL where they beat wives and they beat kids and they have, if there's not a DWI, there's this, there's that. It's just pure. It's for the love of sport. There's no love of sport anymore. It's all money, big business, underhanded, cheating. It's not real. It's not real life. It's just terrible, terrible big business run by boosters. And all I could say is, you want to talk about boosters real fast? The only reason Jameis Winston, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback of number 1 ranked Florida State, is not in prison as we speak is because of the big money paid by boosters to make situations go away. We know damn well he had a rape against that girl. But you get paid enough, things go away. Everything goes away when it comes to money. We'll be back with the next segment. We're going to bring in Kojo, if God willing we can find him this time, and discuss the NFL yesterday and next week as we return to the Howie Spira Show I found Kojo. Where were you?
Man, you wouldn't believe it. I was stuck in traffic. There was a.
Okay, I'm not really interested. It was
Okay.
kind of rhetorical. What do you want to talk about?
How about this baseball playoffs, Howie? I mean,
Unbelievable. It's like
Kansas City.
I rooted so hard. I love underdogs. I love nice stories. I love when it's real baseball, not what we have in New York. And start with the Kansas City Royals, a team that hasn't made the postseason since I was alive back in 1985.
Yep.
29 years. They waited 3 decades. The first to play, what do you call it, play-in game?
Yeah, the play-in game.
So they're down, they tie it. They were down like 7-3.
Yep.
And then they battled and battled and battled. And then 7-7. And then Oakland goes ahead 8-7 in extra innings. And, they gave it a good run. They come back. And then they win it 9-8 in 11 and 12.
In 12, I believe.
9-8. Okay, so they've already succeeded more than anybody thought. So they figured, look, let's go to Anaheim. Let's maybe lose them, win one at home.
What do what do they say? They're playing with house money now.
Yeah, well, that's beyond.
Yeah.
And they go. So they won that game in 12. They went to Anaheim. Game 1. They won in 11 innings.
Yep.
So right there, okay, they've won 2 straight road games now, and they know they're coming home for at least 2 if they need them. They've got the home field advantage. Then in game 2, Hasma, whatever Hasma is, it's I think one of Jewish recipes my mother used to make. He hits a 2-run home run in the 11th inning, and the Royals win again. So now, in 34 innings of baseball, 12, 11, 11, the Kansas City Royals have won 3 straight road games. First of all, that's never been done in postseason history in 3 extra inning games. Okay, so then they come home last night. I'm so worn out after all of football, but James Shields, to me, is a big game pitcher, despite what anyone says. I'm thinking somehow if Kansas City could win that game and sweep the number 1 seeded Angels, oh my God. And not only that, they have then 4 full days off. They don't play till Friday night.
Exactly.
And this time of the year, everybody has nicks and bruises and whatever. So in the top of the first inning, Mike Trout, everybody's hero, hits a home run. It's 1-0. So you start to see a trend. In the bottom of the first, the Royals had the bases loaded and 2 outs, 3-run double.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, oh my God, I love this team. And they went into, I believe they won 8-3.
Yeah, they did.
I want to know who, prognosticator, those big words, or gambler, picked the Kansas City Royals to win 3 straight games over the Angels. I'd like to meet that person.
I can tell you, I don't think anyone did that. But the interesting thing, beyond everything you said, Howie, interesting thing is that these guys are not home run hitters. They're playing baseball. I mean, I'm interested in watching them, and I love watching them because they remind me of a really good Little League team.
Right.
They run.
They battle.
Exactly.
Gritty.
They're gritty. They run. They steal. They bunt. And they play fundamentally sound baseball. I mean, think about it. Think about the salary on the Angels. The big 4? You've got Pujols, Trout,
Hamilton,
and then what's the 4th guy? They showed us Kendrick. There were, I think, a collective 5 for 25 or something like that, if that.
And how much of those contracts for 1 year total? About $100 million.
At least $100 million.
So $20 million per hit.
Exactly.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, right?
Okay,
I'm sure they're real happy about that in Anaheim.
And finally, after 2 years, first the Pujols signing and the Hamilton signing, they made the playoffs this year. It's almost better to not have made it than to get embarrassed by the Kansas City Royals 3 straight. I mean, they're giving Mike Scioscia so much leeway because of his 10-year, $50 million managerial contract.
Right.
But still, so if all that wasn't enough, go back to the spring. I told you, Nelson Cruz, if the Mets could only sign him 1 year, what's the harm? He's going to take drugs at night? As long as it doesn't take him during the game, I'm good.
Yeah.
40 home runs. Hits a home run in game one, a 2-run homer. That set the tone for the whole series. Hits a 2-run homer yesterday. The Orioles beat the Tigers in Detroit in game 3, 2-1. But, so it was 2-0, bottom 9. Detroit's last gasp. Let's see if they have any fight. Victor Martinez, deep double to the outfield fence. Then J.D. Martinez, deep double to the outfield fence. 2-1, the season on the line. 3 Cy Young Award winners in a row. Scherzer, Verlander, and Price going for Detroit. Monies that corporations don't even make. Man on second, nobody out to tie the game and then take your chances. The way my mind works, 2 bunts gets them home.
Yep.
Put your fastest guy on second, bunt to third, squeeze home, tie, go to the extra, let's try. So the guy tries to bunt, but they bunt like they're Forrest Gump. They put the bat over here. They don't know how to bunt.
That's because they're not Kansas City.
Like Phil Rizzuto, the great Yankee shortstop, he said the bat has to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they can't even catch the ball. So he strikes out. Then you gotta love Buck Showalter.
Oh, you love him.
You gotta love Buck Showalter. First, because he hates George Steinbrenner. God bless him right there. He put the winning run on base.
Yeah.
First and second, 1 out. The Tigers bring up a guy who has had 5 at-bats this season. 5.
Who's their manager?
It was Brad Osmus. Who knows now?
Yeah, exactly.
Third to second to first double play. The Orioles go to the American League Championship Series. The Tigers and their Cy Young Award winners and their $300 million Miguel Cabrera, they go home.
They're going home. Going fishing.
I mean, so that means either the Orioles, who have, they were rooting for Casey because they have the home field.
Of course.
Either the Orioles, probably, or Kansas City. One of them is going to the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. If you think that through, that's unbelievable.
I love that, though.
Now, in the National League, the San Francisco Giants know how to play October baseball.
No question about it.
I mean, they won in 2010, they won in 2012, and they're pushing towards winning in 14.
Yeah, it's time for them to win if you follow their cycle. You're good with numbers, right?
They only win on the even
years. That's it.
I mean, for them to go to Washington, the number 1 seed again, and win 2 straight games, the second of which got kind of caught up in all the college football Saturday. In the 18th inning, the guy hit a massive home run to right field. 18 innings. They played 2 games, but yet they won it.
Yeah.
And they're going with Bumgarner tonight. I believe they'll close out the Washington series, have almost a week off, and then they're going to play at. Now the question is at who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's something interesting. So, I mean, Washington's going to ruin this, but I was going to say there could be a Beltway World Series, but Washington I don't think is going to win.
But they're not going to win 3 straight.
Yeah, you're right. But then there could be, I-40 in Missouri between Kansas City and St. Louis.
There's a lot of letters and numbers. I don't know what you just said. I'm like, my eyes are a little blurry right now. I-40, Beltway, Methadone Clinic, what? I don't even know what you just said.
The bottom line is that you've got areas and metropolitan areas where there's good baseball, not New York.
Oh, I get it. St. Louis, Kansas City, Missouri.
Exactly.
I didn't do that well in school. That's why I'm sitting here with these producers. Don't let me get started. But, okay. Then in the other series, the Angels and the Dodgers tied 1 game apiece. But there's only one story there.
It's not the Angels. You mean?
I'm sorry.
Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's all right.
Because I'm so mad. I feel it coming on again. Clayton Fuckshaw. What's his name? Kershaw?
Mr. May. That's his name.
Yeah, you must follow me on Twitter. That's what I compared him to Dave Winfield.
I did see that.
$31 million a year. $1 million per start.
Yeah.
Gave up maybe 2 earned runs in 8 weeks. How many earned runs in game 1? 7?
7.
And they lost 10-9, was it?
No, it was
9-8. What?
Yeah.
I mean, what? And last post, isn't he like 0-5 in the last post? I mean, the 21-3 in the regular season, the 1.77 ERA, It means nothing.
Yeah, it's a clean slate now. And
It means nothing when it counts. And you can ask any Yankee fan. It's only October.
That's right.
He's given up 7, 8 runs a game, losing every game. Unheard of. And Don Mattingly, let me say one thing about Don Mattingly. He's an ass. Straight out, he's an ass.
Why do you say that?
They had a 5-run lead.
Yeah, they sure did.
Okay, and he was giving up out. Okay, they got to the 7th inning. One base runner. Okay, 2 base runners. That's it.
Pull them out.
I mean, why wait till the 3-run double puts them behind? Why?
Plus, it was like 100 degrees in LA.
It was 92 with the real feel of 100 degrees. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All I could tell you is it's ridiculous. It's going to be, like you said, Kansas City at Baltimore.
Right.
And it's going to be San Francisco.
At St. Louis.
I believe at St. Louis. Amazing championship series. Of course, I don't have cable, so I can't watch it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to be right back with the NFL. What an NFL Sunday it was in a moment.
So, Howie, let's talk about this weekend in NFL, Week 5. We had some pretty good games. Good game for the New York Football Giants.
Jets. Geno Smith will start again. My God!
I don't talk about the Jets.
I was rooting so hard for the Giants. It was the real Giants have come forth. Manning's back. This new kid, I love him.
That kid Odell Beckham Jr.
When he caught that winning touchdown pass, he did the Beckham.
Yeah.
That's how. But I had to. But it was like, oh my God! It's like let's dance. It was unbelievable. I love that kid.
So you like his dance better than Victor Cruz's salsa?
I don't know. It's been so long. I don't remember the salsa. He did it one time this year. But let me tell you, between Donnell, because it can't be Donald. He caught 3 touchdown passes. Now it's Donnell. Like Ocho Cinco. You know, as soon as they catch a pass, they go into the name change place. But between Cruz, Donnell, and Beckham, you know, this is starting to get interesting. Jennings got hurt, the running back.
But that kid from Boston College stepped in, Andre Williams.
Well, he ran for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
But one thing...
But he was running over some of those guys.
That
was pretty impressive.
And it wasn't even the Jets.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you, the Giants, okay, they've made themselves relevant again.
Right.
The next 2 weeks will determine how relevant. Next Sunday night, going to the Eagles.
They're going down
a
on the
team
lake.
That's won, 7 in a row at home, give or take.
Yeah.
I think they're ready to be taken. They're right because they're winning, but they're not playing well. They're playing garbage and just barely escaping. I mean, if the Rams were a real team, they had the ball in Eagles territory to win the game in the last minute yesterday. They're not a real team.
Good team, yeah.
They're on like their 3rd string quarterback. The Cowboys, then the week after, in the national game on Fox, the Giants go to Dallas. Now, Dallas is 4-1 too, but it's a hollow 4-1. One thing about the Thug, what's his name?
You talking about Des Bryant?
Yeah, the Thug. I mean, he wasn't beating anyone up in the club, so this time he played. He wasn't crying. He made a great catch. Well, the last time he was on the sideline, he was crying.
Yeah, you're right.
Because oh my God, it meant so much. Fucking asshole. But the thing is,
he made a pretty amazing catch, though.
It was a great catch. It led to the win. If the Giants can go into Philadelphia Sunday night and then go into Dallas Sunday afternoon the following week and be 5-2, be in first place and have all the time, they'll be 3-0 in the division and have the tiebreakers, and then they still play Philly and Dallas at home.
Yep.
Not only would they win the East, now you start, the way my mind works with numbers, I'm starting to look for like a number 2 seed, a bye, a home win, and at Seattle for the NFC Championship. Now I realize it's October 6th today, but that's how my mind always works. I always think ahead. Never happens for the most part. It happened Saturday in college football.
Yeah, it sure did.
But it was a great day of football. Look at the Cleveland Browns. What's his name? Hoyer? I mean, the Browns are not happy unless they're down by 25 points. They were down 28-3. Now, I understand Tennessee is not exactly the Super Bowl champions, but they're a pro team. They get paid, I think.
Yeah.
The Browns scored 26 points and won 29-28.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's not the first time they came back on the Steelers too. They lost it with the last second field goal, but there's a no quit attitude in these teams.
And this kid is playing confident. I'm talking about Hoyer.
Yeah, you don't even hear Johnny Manziel's name
Nobody's
anymore, which
talking about him
that
anymore.
alone should
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah.
I mean, Carolina rallied from 2-3 touchdowns down,
Two
and they
touchdowns
won.
down, yeah.
Buffalo down 14-0 in Detroit, rallies to beat the Lions.
Behind
Who?
Orton. Guy was bagging groceries or something like that.
But I hear he never broke eggs.
Yeah.
He did good. No, he did, because some people put the eggs on the bottom.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, don't roll your eyes. It's my show.
So we're talking about Buffalo and Detroit. So this guy Kyle Orton comes in and takes him.
That was
down.
the guy who played for the Bears, right?
Yeah, he played behind Jay Cutler for a
Right.
little bit. But we talked about great catches. Des Bryant had a great catch. But the rookie on Buffalo had a pretty awesome catch too, coming across the middle, caught the ball behind him, bobbled it, and actually caught it.
But on October 6th, if I would have told you Buffalo be in first place, even after 5 games, people had them in 0-5.
I would have asked you what you were on. What are you on?
Too numerous to mention and not enough. But the thing is that it's such parity in the NFL
Yeah.
now. Now, I still believe when all the smoke clears that Denver is going to host the AFC Championship game against. See, I would have said Cincinnati, but after last night against the Patriots, I don't know.
Wow.
But Denver, see, they're just that good. When it comes down to it, though, straight out, where's the Super Bowl? It's in a warm weather place.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's going to be Denver and Seattle again.
Again,
It's
you
a
think it's a
rematch.
rematch,
No
okay.
question about it. So, all this stuff you put in the soup and the stew and you mix it up, when everything comes out, it's still going to be Denver and Seattle in the Super Bowl.
Got it. Well, what other game was significant to you yesterday?
Well, the Battle of Texas, I really thought Houston was going to win that because J.J. Watt, he had Romo,
He sure
and
did.
Romo squirmed
Yeah.
out of it, and he threw like a 50, 60-yard touchdown pass
Yeah.
to put them up 17-7. That, you see, you can't do that. Maybe it looks easier on TV, but, just one thing about the Jets. Isn't it hard to keep giving up 50-yard plays, both in the run and the pass? Now, okay,
I thought they
Geno-
were one of the top run defenses. They
Geno
gave up-
Smith, okay, he's not a football player.
Okay.
He's not a man,
Okay.
and he has no mind. Okay,
Okay.
he's an ass.
So 0 for 3.
Right, that's a big 3. But how is it exactly that the Jets' defense gave up 10,000 yards? And they kept in 50-yard chunks. Now, some of the passes that Rivers threw were great. But the Jet defenders are always there, but they don't knock the ball down. They just watch the guy catch it. Is that bad?
They're horrible. They have horrible.
So they have no
defensive
offense,
backfield.
they have no defense, they have no special teams, they have no quarterback, they have no coach, they got nothing. A New York team. Rex Ryan, I used to think he was pretty good. There's something wrong with him too. I'm going to stand behind Geno. Who cares, fat fuck? Who cares what you stand behind? The diet didn't work. But Geno Smith, every bad play, it all comes down to the same thing. My bad. I threw the ball in the stands. I did bad. I fell down. Motherfucker, kill yourself already. I mean, and then he's like, listen, I don't care what they say. I'm going to lead the Jets. What is this, Moses out of the desert? He's going to lead the Jets to where? They were 1-0. They were 1-0.
Right.
I was speaking to my producer on a Sunday afternoon. He wasn't listening because he has no attention span. But the Jets led 21-3 in Green Bay, and I told him, right here is where it's going to fall apart. They're going to lose at least the next 6. And basically the guy said, there's something wrong with you. Well, tests back that up, but that's not the point. I mean, so look at the 6 quarterbacks. Rodgers.
Yep.
Stafford,
Yep.
well, in between Cutler, Stafford, Yesterday, Rivers.
Yeah.
Now it gets easy. It's only Peyton Manning, who's thrown for 7,400,000 yards, and then Tom Brady, who, by the way, yesterday became the 6th NFL quarterback ever to throw for 50,000 yards.
What about them, the Patriots? What a comeback from getting their asses handed
You
to them.
know,
the
I don't
other
like
day.
the Patriots, but you got to give them
You gotta
trouble.
give it to 'em.
You know, Tom Brady, he's got 3 Super Bowls, although he hasn't won one in a decade.
Yeah.
Sleeps with what's recognized as the most beautiful woman in the world every night. But he has heart. He could have wrapped it up. They have more money. For his $20 million, she makes $60 million a year. But he has. Him and Belichick. They fight. Like in a way, Eli Manning and Tom Coughlin. I just get a little nervous because Tom Coughlin's face is so blood red. I think he's going to drop dead on the field. But hopefully it'll be. I mean, one thing about Coughlin, he won his 172nd game yesterday. That's 13th all time. See, I pay attention when they talk with them graphics. I can't see. I have to go right by the TV, but I have a lot of respect for the Patriots. They really battled back. They fought tooth and nail. And you know what? There's no football in New York. One thing, because of contractual obligations, you like that?
Yeah, that's a good one, Howie.
We're forced to watch the Jets. That is so wrong. The whole country got Kansas City at the 49ers yesterday.
Which was a great game.
Great game. They kicked the field goal, went up 19-17, then 22-17. KC had one last shot. In the past, you know, they would switch off the networks, but they can't leave a New York game in a New York market. If it's 1,000,000, which it was 21-0 at the half, and the Jets had 5 yards of offense. I mean, everybody knew.
Horrible.
Okay, Vic was going to come in, but within 2 minutes you could see he was done. Let us see, even if you split the screen or something, let us see real football. They're going to lose viewers that way. It's not right. It's not fair.
At the end of the day, you've got, like you said, we have one football team playing in New York right now. I mean, and it's not the Jets. Across the country, though, it's as you said, there's a lot of parity in the NFL.
Great games.
It's great. A lot of great games every weekend. Anybody could beat anybody else, just about. Except tonight, you've got Seattle, Washington.
Well, they're not going to pile it on, but they're going to be. They're going to beat Washington out of respect, slowly, nicely. You know, I'm getting this from my producer. Okay. See, I swear it looked like this. I'm not sure, but I guess that means he wants us. Please, I work alone. I guess that means he wants us to speed it up. He can't just say speed it up. He's got to give the signals again. Okay.
Let's hear your picks.
He wants my picks.
Okay, so we've got next week is week 6. We've got some good games. First is a divisional game.
Thursday night, CBS finally gets a good one after 50-point blowouts.
Absolutely.
Indianapolis goes to Houston.
Absolutely. What do you think of that?
Well, Indianapolis, when they were 0-2, I told you they have to bounce back quickly. They did. They won 3 straight games. Houston's 3-2. Even though Indianapolis opens a 3-point favorite, I have to think, even though Clowney's not quite back yet, I believe J.J. Watt and Houston will defeat Indianapolis and go ahead in the division and be 4-2, be 3-3 for Indy, and get to have the tiebreaker as we speak. Wow. I believe Houston wins that game.
So, do you know what the line is on that game? 3.
Once a gambler, always a gambler. You always know what the lines are.
Of course.
Now, then the second game, the best team.
So you got Houston over Indianapolis.
Okay.
That's 1.
Howie's. My producers want a title. Howie's Hot Picks. It took them 20 minutes to come up with that. We had to pause.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Is it not true? One had to go out to the meter and one had to pick.
I'm commenting on the title.
I don't care. So Denver, let's make it real simple. Denver beats the Jets with no effort, no nothing, just nice and easy.
The only question is the over/under on Peyton's touchdowns, number of touchdowns. Is he going to get Favre's record tomorrow? I mean, next
no,
week?
because he's got 503 and Favre has 508. He's not going to throw 6 touchdowns. But
really, against the Jets?
No, I mean, because he won't. One thing about Peyton, he's a gentleman. He won't embarrass.
Yeah, he won't pour it on.
But okay, Denver. What's the waste time? Denver wins that game. It could be Vic. It could be Geno. They could play together. It makes no difference. Pull someone in off the street. It doesn't matter. Okay, here's the real game. At 4:25, Dallas Cowboys at Seattle.
Absolutely.
The Dallas look it ends next Sunday. I mean, Dallas is straight out. Seattle escaped against the Eagles. They're going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys. Seattle wins that game by a bare minimum of 10 points, and it's probably more.
Okay.
Then at night, so it's Seattle wins that game. The Giants go to Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
The Giants will beat the Eagles as a 3-point underdog. The Giants, the Eagles, and the Cowboys will all be 4-2. And after the 0-2 start and everybody crying, just before midnight next Sunday night, the Giants will be tied for first place.
Awesome.
Very simple. And then
five,
on Monday night, you got the 49ers at St. Louis. I'd like to say St. Louis is going to win, and I think they'll be right there, but they're always right there. But when that one play needs to be made,
They can't do it.
there's either a fumble, an incompletion, an interception, a penalty. They just play just well enough to lose. And one last thing, it scrolled on the TV that some prominent sportscaster said, no matter what the 49ers do this year, even if they win the Super Bowl, Jim Harbaugh
He's gone.
will not be back. So I would love to know the underlying story. They hate him.
Yeah.
So either he slept with the owner's wife. I mean, something happened bad. And it's going to come out at some point. We've wrapped up another show. I hope I fed you some useful information. I hope I've entertained you. Follow me on Twitter at The Howie Spira Show. I said it wrong. At Howie Spira Show. And listen to my podcast, www.thehowiespirashow.podbean.com, and watch me on, let's see if I get this right, the Howie Spira YouTube channel. I think I got it right. I'll see you next week. Have a nice week.